An Introduction to Google Search Console. My name is Sam, and this is part of my SEO for Beginners series. In this video, we are going to be talking about Google Search Console. We're going to give a high-level overview of what Google Search Console is, why it's important, and how you can use it. So first, what is Google Search Console? It's a free tool that Google provides that helps to monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your website's presence in search results, specifically in Google search results. One thing to note, this is only Google data. It is not all of your website traffic as in Google Analytics, what that would be covering, and it does not impact or have anything to do with Bing or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or any other search engine. It's just data from Google. Why would you want to use Google Search Console? You can gain insight into your website's performance, so which pages are ranking well, what terms are you ranking for. You can understand which queries, which terms are driving traffic to the site, and then you can spot issues. And if you have pages that are not ranking, you can, or not indexed at least, you can see why they're not indexed and then help to remediate that. So first, tracking your site's search performance with Google Search Console. They have a performance report where you can see your total organic clicks. You can see your impressions. That is how often your page showed up in a search result. You can see click-through rate. You can see your average position by term, by page. You can see which search terms are your site showing up for. And then you can drill down into specific pages. So we'll go through this right now, but there's a performance tab in Google Search Console. You select your date range, then you can filter by search terms and pages, and then use that to improve your SEO strategy. So this is what this all looks like. So this is Google Search Console. We're going to click on performance, and then make sure you're looking at the date range you want to be looking at. You can also compare. So you compare 7 days or 28 days or 3 months, the previous period, or year over year. We're just going to look at the last 3 months. This is a new site, so we do not have a lot of data here, but this will still work for what we need to show right now. So we can see total clicks. In this case, it's 0, but if you had organic clicks coming, you would see how many you had there. You can see total impressions. This is how many times this website showed up in a Google search result. You could see average click-through rate, and then you could see the average position that you were ranking for whatever term that was. If you scroll down, then you can see which terms your site was showing up for, and you could filter by clicks and by impressions, and then you can go over to pages and you can see which pages are showing up. And so in this case, say we wanted to dive into the Parasite SEO guides page, we can go into there. Now we're only looking at data for this page. You can see which search terms were showing up, or that was triggering that page to show up. You can obviously look by country and device, and some other settings down there. Where this is very helpful is you can see obviously what search terms are showing up, what pages are showing up. We will oftentimes analyze an individual page and find that it's showing up for terms that we weren't even trying to show up for, or at least that the page was not well optimized for. And then if it's a helpful term, we can then go back into the page, better optimize it for that term, and then grab more search traffic because of that. So that's an overview of the performance report. Next, another big and probably the most helpful thing with Google Search Console is you can see issues and errors that Google has with your website, and what you would need to do to fix it so that you can be indexed by Google and make sure that you are best positioning yourself to show up in search results. So this is an example of a report of why pages are not indexed. And so for anything that's not indexed or that can't show up in a search result right now, Google tells you why. And it could be because the page doesn't exist or it's not loading, a 404 error. It could be because you're intentionally blocking it with a no index tag. It could be that it does know about it, it just hasn't indexed it yet. This is very helpful as you're trying to get new pages up and get them indexed. We'll look at this in our key reports here, but here's some stuff, here's some reports I should say in Google Search Console that you will want to be mindful of. So one, you have a coverage report, so we will look at that quickly. If you're in Search Console under indexing and then pages here, you will see how many pages Google has indexed. In this case there's 19, and how many it does not have indexed. In this case there's 51. If you scroll down, you can then see why pages are not indexed. So in this case we have 8 pages that can't be found. In this case, I had repurposed the site, and so there are some pages here that no longer exist because I had deleted them. And so I know then, okay, we can come in, we can clean these up, and then you could, after you do the work, you could validate the fix, and that would, Google would then intentionally check for that. Some pages Google knows about, they've crawled them, they just have not indexed them yet. And so that's can be helpful to know. And then there's the other reasons why a page might not be indexed here. So that's going to be very helpful for figuring out what pages are indexed, and if there are pages that you want indexed that are not indexed, you can then know why they're not indexed and take steps to fix that. There's an experience report, so we will bring that over, but this will flag more or less usability issues. That's going to be down here under experience. Core Web Vitals. Now this hasn't been around long enough to have information here, but it's basically going to pull what page speed insights would pull for you. And so, like, how is your site performing in Google? And obviously, if it's performing better, that's going to be a positive indicator to help you search more. You can also check for security, your SSL cert. Google pretty much, I don't know if any pages are going to be ranking if they're not secure at the moment. So if you had your SSL server is having issues, you could then come in here and see how Google sees it and then work to fix that. Next, a sitemap report. This is not report, probably isn't the right term here, but the indexing, you can look at sitemaps. This is where you can submit a sitemap or multiple sitemaps, where if you have a well-defined sitemap, this then gives it to Google. You can see when Google has read it, if they can read it, and this helps to give a clear outline of your site to Google and will better position you to have the pages indexed that you want indexed. And then the last thing we're going to touch on here is security and manual action. So if there are issues with your site, if there's a manual action or a security issue, there's a section down here where you can go and see, and you would know, like, in this case, there's no issues detected for either of these, but if there were issues, you could see them in here, and then you could take steps to remediate those and get your site back indexed and in good standing with Google. There's more reports here, but those are some key ones to be aware of. And so now some tips for using Google Search Console. You want to check it regularly for errors and performance metrics. With our clients, we're doing it at least once a month, sometimes more often, sometimes usually not less. Like, at least we want to be looking at it once a month, checking for errors, seeing how pages are performing, looking for trends, and then using that to influence our SEO strategy. Again, we want to monitor trends, look for traffic and keyword, both overall, but then it's probably most helpful to dive into specific pages to see how they are performing, what keywords they're ranking for, and then how that's changing over time. It's especially helpful if you are tracking the changes that you're making, and then you can go in and see how that's reflecting in search results. So if we updated our title tag today, and then in 3 weeks from now we can go back and look, and okay, 3 weeks ago we updated the title tag. Are we seeing more impressions? Are we seeing the main search term that we're trying to target? Is that improving, and so forth? And then obviously it will highlight any errors that you have, and so you can get in there, see those, and then work on fixing them. Some action steps if you're just getting started. You'll want to make sure you set up and verify Google Search Console for your website. You do need to take steps to get it set up. We'll have another video on how to do that, but if you don't have it set up, then you won't have any data for it. You want to review your performance regularly. As we had just mentioned, you want to check for errors regularly and make sure that those are getting cleaned up. You want to submit a sitemap, and then again, continuously monitor and refine your SEO strategy based on what you're learning from the data here. Key takeaways and wrapping up now. Google Search Console is essential for monitoring your website's visibility, especially within Google. If you are trying to do anything with SEO, you should have Google Search Console set up. You want to use it to identify errors and to optimize your performance. You want to check back at least monthly, if not more often, on how your site's doing. And then you want to use those insights to help inform your SEO strategies. All right, thank you. We're going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. We will be making more videos on Google Search Console. Again, this was just a high-level overview of Google Search Console. Please stay tuned for more of our SEO for Beginners series. Thank you.